We are live now, madam. You can start the session.
Good evening, everyone, and thank you, all of you, for joining us here today evening. And it's a very beautiful program put together by YOSI and Maharashtra Ophthalmic Society, getting the maximum out of residency. And the we have two presidents, the YOSI president and the president of Maharashtra Ophthalmological Society, with and they will give their opening remarks. Dr. Anaga Herur, she is just taken over as the president of Maharashtra Ophthalmological Society, and she's growing great guns with all the programs that she's putting together. So, Anaga, please, your opening remarks, please.
Yeah, thank you so much, Dr. Preeti. So, welcome one and all to our first episode of the MOS UC series that we are going to do this year. In fact, MOS is the largest, one of the largest societies in AIOS, which is our parent body, and UC is the biggest dynamic uh, association with all great young guns. And I think association between our two big associations is going to really create waves. It's very important from both, as well as the young ophthalmologists, the residents, as well as the practicing ophthalmologists, to also have exposure to solutions to various other problems other than just academics. And this was the reason why we came up with this idea. And what better association than with the youngest association throughout the country. So thank you, Dr. Divakant, Dr. Nilesh Kumar, Dr. Nupur, and the host of YOSI office bearers and team, as well as our MOS team, dynamic team with our secretary, Dr. Preeti, Dr. Ajay Lohia, Dr. Piyush Bansal, and the entire team. So I think today's will be a great webinar, and all the residents are really going to benefit a lot out of it. So all the best for the session. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. And it is really great to actually, when you told me in last APCRS that we should start something, I thought that it'll take some time because we are going to take over president. Then it'll have some cooling period. But immediately after your takeover, we are starting in the same month. So that's a great energy that will be infused into YOSI as well. I'd like to invite Dr. Devakant Mishra, who is president of YOSI. He is a very great, matlab, he's very gung-ho about collaboration with other societies because it benefits both, and we also get a gamut of new perspectives that are there. So, Dr. Devakant Mishra, your comments, please.
Thank you so much, Nilesh. And I would really take this opportunity to thank Anaga ma'am for initiating this. So the whole initiation came from her. And, this is such a relevant thing that we are doing. And it is at the heart, at the core of what YOSI is all about. And we are so happy and excited that our thoughts have aligned with such a big state society and such a vibrant one. So we are very happy and excited about this collaboration because we are sure that all those listening, all those who will catch up with these programs on YouTube later on will benefit greatly from this program. So thank you, ma'am, and thank you to the whole team of Maharashtra Ophthalmic Society for supporting this collaboration and this event. And a big shout out to the whole YOSI team for answering to the call and taking up this initiative and taking this forward in such a good way. So over to you, Nilesh, and the rest of the team for taking this forward. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. So I'll start with inviting the first speaker of the day. That is Dr. Rucha Bang. Dr. Rucha Bang is a senior resident right now at Chhatrapati Sambhaji Nagar, and she has done her MBBS from GMC Chhatrapati Sambhaji Nagar and MS from TNMC and by Charitable Hospital, Mumbai. And she has also cleared all the steps of FICO. So, Dr. Rucha, we are eager to hear you talk.
Yeah, sure, sir.
Pardon me, I will be keeping the time. So
Yeah, ma'am.
You have been given, I think, 3 minutes.
Yeah.
And so in 3 minutes, I will give you a warning. Okay.
Okay.
And in
Okay.
15 seconds, you'll have to stop. All right.
Okay.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah.
Sure.
Thank you so much.
I'll share my slide. Is my slide visible?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, good evening, everyone. Myself, Dr. Rucha Bang. At the outset, I would like to thank Maharashtra Ophthalmic Society for giving me the opportunity to deliver this talk. And I would also like to thank my HOD, Archanavare madam, for guiding me for the same. So my topic in this getting maximum out of residency concept is a time and surgical exposure, what I could have done differently. So my slide is not working, just a second. Okay. So, in our residency, being a junior resident in ophthalmology, we are usually focused towards performing surgeries, especially cataract surgery. But our goal should be to become a good clinician as well as good surgeon. So, every patient we come across, we should take a detailed history. We should examine the patient, counsel about the condition and the outcome and prognosis of the diagnosis. And as you require, we can operate the patient, take follow-up, and interested cases should be researched and published. So coming towards the surgical exposure, especially in our residency, being ophthalmologist, we usually concentrate towards performing cataract surgeries, especially small incision cataract surgery. But we should also learn about ophthalmology as a whole and become a comprehensive ophthalmologist, as these 3 years are most important. So in my residency, I have got opportunity from doing even a minor surgery of chalazion incision and curettage to performing SICS, phacoemulsification, keratoplasty, trabeculectomy. So having exposure of overall ophthalmology and surgeries, doing surgeries is also very important. So becoming a surgeon, it starts from day one of our residency. It starts right from observation. What you observe in our OTs, what our seniors are performing. With the help of monitors attached to our microscope, nowadays we can observe each and every step in detail and look about what differently can be done, what we can improve in our surgeries. Another most important thing is assisting. So assisting a surgery doesn't start from just handing over instruments, but it starts from how we arrange the trolley, how we prime tune our phaco machines or arrange vitrectomy instruments into that. So I have also got opportunity of assisting various keratoplasty surgeries, vitrectomy, and oculoplasty surgeries. So this not only helps in enhancing the surgical skills, but also in our academics about writing any answers about surgeries. So what I could have done differently? So I feel the most important thing is better time management. As a junior resident, we are too much messed up and we are overburdened with our work. So the most important thing is coming early to operation theaters, arranging the OT and taking time out of it to observe what our seniors are performing, what surgeries they are doing. Another important thing is constant practicing suture under microscope, which can improve our binocularity and depth perception.
Rucha, you have
Ana-
15 seconds. Huh?
yeah, sure, ma'am. So another important thing is attending various CMEs, conferences, and webinars, which can also enhance our surgical skills and peer learning. So to sum up with, to become a good surgeon, we should start with observation, then assisting and perform whatever surgery we are performing, even the minute step also. And so we'll get the better performance. So thank you so much. And it is always a teamwork. So thank you.
So,
Thank you so much, Dr. Rucha. I think that that was she was really worried when we first talked about how the talk what the job for should be rather than raising cataracts and counting the number of cataracts. I think she has pinned the point right in the head. So before initiating the discussion, I'll just introduce all the panelists who are here. So joined by Dr. The Vice President Consultant Cornea and Refractive at Manaktada Eye Hospital, Meerut. And we are also joined by Dr. Nupur Goel, who is a consultant oculoplasty at Eye Care Hospital, Noida, and she is the team lead of the most active presidential working group and also an executive member at YOSI. And we are also joined by Dr. Niranjan Karthik. Dr. Niranjan Karthik is the executive at YOSI and he is working with Dr. Nirmal Frederick at his hospital as a consultant glaucoma. So over to Preeti ma'am to introduce the panel from MOS.
So the MOS panel has all teachers, okay? And Dr. Archana Vare, she's the professor and head of the Government Medical College at Chhatrapati Sambhajinagar, and a very dynamic professor, if I say so. Dr. Naina Poddar, again, she's the professor and head of TNMC Medical College, one of the very respected medical colleges in Mumbai. and she's also has 25 years of teaching under her belt. And the last we have Dr. Akshay Nair, and he is an octoplasty surgeon from Mumbai. And all I can say about him is that he has quite a few papers under his belt and a very dynamic ophthalmologist. So we have a elite team and a mix of the juniors and the little bit seniors. So let's go ahead with the next speaker, or you would like to ask Rucha?
Yeah, just I'll like to ask one question, and I would like to have opinion of two oppositants. Dr. Archana ma'am is at a government setup, and Dr. Nupur Goyal is teaching at a DNB institute, that is a private hospital. But there is a common complaint that is by residents at both of the setups, is that they are not getting enough surgical exposure. So I would just like to ask, how do you deal with these residents, and how do you motivate them that whatever they are getting, they should make the best out of it? Archana ma'am first.
Okay, so ours is a government medical college at Chhatrapati Sambhaji Nagar, and when they join us as JR1s, we ask them to observe, and we give them surgery stepwise. But as we have like lot of patients, so it's not a problem with our residents that they don't get enough surgical exposure. But during COVID times, yes, they were like having less surgical exposure. But I always tell them that the surgical exposure they can get any time later during fellowships. But here they should concentrate to become an ophthalmologist as a whole. So it should be a comprehensive development rather than just focusing on their surgical goals.
Thank you, ma'am. Dr. Nupur ma'am.
Yeah, so ours is a DNB institute, and again, I would say the surgical exposure is pretty good here. But again, our residents sometimes do get worried that we're not getting enough surgeries. So we only tell them that do not focus on numbers rather than focus on the quality. So even if you're doing say 60 or 70 cases, make sure that whatever step you're doing, you do it properly. So also the skill matters, the numbers don't matter. So if you have the good skill, a good attitude, that will take you everywhere. And at the end, everybody goes on the same platform. So don't worry about the numbers, but read about it. Just don't focus that I have to do this case. Read about it. If you read well, if you focus well, then automatically you learn well. So that would be our thing. Don't focus on numbers, but focus on improving your skill. And reading about what you're actually doing is very important. If you're well read, then you can, and as Dr. Rucha also mentioned, it's very important to be very observant. Every chance that you get to assist is you should take it as a, you should feel lucky that you're getting a chance to assist, and you should observe that well. So that would be the thing. Right from, how you're holding the instruments, everything is important.
Thank you. Thank you so much, ma'am. Preeti ma'am, please introduce the
Can
next
go for the
speaker.
next speaker. Yeah. So the next speaker is Dr. Sarosh Sayed. He is a senior resident at Government Medical College at Chhatrapati Sambhaji Nagar, and his topic is going to be networking and mentorship. Please go ahead, Sarosh.
Thank you, ma'am. Screen visible?
Yes.
Thank you. At the outset, I would thank MOS for giving me the opportunity, and also my head of the department, Dr. Archana Vare ma'am, for guiding me in building this PowerPoint presentation. So the topic given to me is networking and mentorship in ophthalmology residency, what I could have done differently. So I divided this topic into further subheadings like building connections, power of networking, how to network effectively, mentorship, the guiding light, finding the right mentor, lessons learned during my residency, and the conclusion. So first come first, you have to build meaningful connections during residency that and they will be there for you for life, with you for life. So networking and mentorship are two specific skills you need to learn. So these will guide you to the sea of ophthalmology with relative ease. Look, we have all passed the NEET PG exams, and we are like gems. And via this networking and mentorship, these skills will shape us into becoming a diamond in itself. So what is the power of networking? So networking helps us build meaningful collaborations, opens the areas for research and training, and helps us enhance our clinical learnings. So I would advise everyone that they should attend maximum number of CMEs. They should engage in discussions, form relationships, and collaborate on research, and thereby get recommendations from the teachers for their fellowship and further career opportunities. So how do you network effectively? So I would advise you to be visible, attend maximum number of conferences and online mediums like webinars, engage in active talks, engage on academic platforms, follow up and maintain contact with your mentors and those who you think they guide you throughout your journey. Mentorship in other is also a very important thing to learn during residency. They are like a guiding light. They are like a compass who will guide you and provide you direction and feedback. They will shape your professional values, accelerate growth, and we living in a digital era, we have access to online resources as well. So we can definitely take advantage of online resources like iFocus. Then there are several other platforms where videos of operating surgeons are available. You can always take help of those as well. So finding the right mentor. How do you find a right mentor? I think you should look for shared interest. People who work on a similar research, you should work along with them and prioritize trust and be sincere in your work. So they will also help you in their work. You should help them in their work and they will help you in your work as well. So also you can learn from multiple mentors. There is no need that you only have to have one mentor. There can be a mentor who can guide you academically. There can be a mentor who can guide you through your surgical residency, and someone who forms your emotional support, whom you can get back to in the later stages. We can also try to explore videos of amazing surgeons that are available on YouTube, like Cataract Coach, and then there are several other surgeons who are available. And these are the lessons that I have learned during my residency. I would advise you to do this, to not make the same mistake. I would urge you to attend more number of national and international level conferences. I would urge you to seek mentorship actively, be proactive in your work, and network intentionally. Embrace peer learning by discussion with your co-residents and residents from other departments as well. Give back early, mentor your juniors during residency, and go beyond your department and explore the offline and online resources that are available to us. So to conclude, I would say don't walk the path alone. Reach out, connect, and let your mentors light the way ahead. Network intentionally and build a healthy ophthalmology community. As they say, if you want to go fast, go alone. But if you want to go far, go together. There is also one important quote by Porter Gale. He said, your network is your net worth. So you expand your network and your net worth automatically gets expanded. I'm truly grateful to my department who have shaped me in what I am today. And this is all from my side. Thank you. Thank you so much.
So that was a very nice presentation, Dr. Sarosh, with very valid key points. And it's more valid today because till you are 23, 24, you are told just sir niche dalo and you keep studying. And all of a sudden, after you enter residency, you've said, oh, now you have to network. It's a very dramatically opposite way of life. And that's why now let's me pose this question to our panelists. Again, it will be one junior, one senior. So we have Dr. Karan Bhatia. Let's his view first. My question is that what is the first step for an introverted resident who has just studied all his life and now he has to start building a strong professional network? What would you advise that person?
I think Dr. Karan Bhatia sir has just logged off some issue with his connection.
So then we can have Dr. Niranjan. Is he here?
Sarosh,
Yeah.
could you please stop sharing your screen?
Dr. Niranjan, is he here?
Niranjan, we are not able to hear you.
Yeah, you're muted probably. Mr. Sai, if you can unmute him, if he's not realized it. Is he there?
Pardon me, madam?
Can you find Mr. Niranjan Karthik there? Oh, there he is. We are not able to hear you.
I think now you
Now,
may
now
Yeah,
you're-
now it is there.
Please go ahead. Yeah.
A very good evening, ma'am. Could you please just repeat the question once?
Okay, here's a resident, very shy, has just studied books all his life. And now he's been told, now you have to build a good professional network. What is the first step? How should he start? He or she? How should they start?
I would like to share my personal experience in that because I'm not very different from the person in question.
All right.
So the best way to go forward would be to take the guidance of the immediate seniors around him or her, ma'am. Because that is how it has worked well for me to start with. Because frankly speaking, you're from a doctor background or not, ophthalmology in the residency, arena is a very new ball game altogether. So there would be immediate seniors, just like we heard our speakers speak about attending CMEs and conferences. Our seniors have been there, done that. So definitely they would be the best people to guide us as to who are the people, right people to connect with, given the circumstances of that residency, that institution. So the first point 101 to them would be to interact with their immediate seniors in their institution to get to know people around them. And second would be, of course, to get into a body, a scientific body like MOS or YOSI, because that will open up arenas where they would meet like-minded people. Now, even let's take this meeting. We have so many people of the same age group coming together to talk. So inspired by one another, talk or topic, they would definitely connect with each other to get a network going. These would be my two cents for this question.
All right. Dr. Naina, you have 25 years of experience. So now just add your views on this. How do you advise your resident who are shy? You can make out that this person is shy, won't be able to, unless he's pushed, he or she will not be able to network. So what do you advise? What do you do?
Yeah, good evening. Can you hear me?
Yes, very clearly.
Yes, yes. See, today's generation of students are very different, Dr. Preeti. They are very fast, they are tech savvy and more confident than us. They prefer, I feel, instant feedback and gratification. Also, they value autonomy and they also resist authority. They have to overcome all this. So we as mentors, I feel, have to bridge the gap. We have to understand their mindset and we have to do hand holding. What I feel is what is required for their professional growth is that biggest thing is discipline. Discipline is required. They have to be more organized. They should have hunger for knowledge. They should be able to do time management and not get distracted by social media, but use it for taking online resources. Be sincere, do on calls. And to end, I will say that we all know that there are three monkeys of Gandhiji. See no evil, do no evil, hear no evil. But I would like to contradict here. Don't be like Gandhiji's monkey. See everything, hear everything, speak everything, interact, and that will go in the wrong way in helping you learn and progress in life. Thank you.
Beautiful pearls, Dr. Naina.
Thank you.
Dr. Nilesh, if you can we'll go to the next speaker.
Thank you. Thank you so much, ma'am. We will now move on to the third talk, and that is by Dr. Rishikesh Deshpande. He is a glaucoma specialist at Mumbai and is also assistant professor at the Grant Government Medical College and Sir JJ Group of Hospital. And he is going to talk about the innovations and learning. How could have he done differently during his residency? So, Dr. Rishikesh, all yours.
Thank you. Hello, am I audible?
Yes.
Yeah.
So I'm just trying to share my document. I'm just, screen. Okay. So good evening. My topic is a little more abstract, but it's about innovation.
We are not able to see Dr. Rishikesh here.
Your screen is not being shared. Yeah.
I'm just doing that right now. Share screen. Is this visible now?
Yeah.
Hold on.
Dr. Nilesh Kumar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hold on just a moment. Yeah, is this visible now?
Yes. Yes.
Oh, okay. So my topic is about innovation and residency learning. It's a little more abstract. So I just have 5 points, 5 principles that I could have done differently during my residency, which was between 2018 and 2021. So innovation is always going to follow the thinking process. It's not going to happen all of a sudden and out of the blue. We are extremely busy as residents and even as senior residents, but there is a need for innovation. Unless somebody takes a charge and somebody does something new, it's not going to happen out of the blue automatically. It is very, very, very challenging because this is in addition to your existing protocols and work schedules. And these need not be complex jumps, new surgical techniques, something that has been unheard of. This can be simple things that you can do on your daily basis, whether it is clinical or non-clinical. The second learning that I would want to change through my residency days is that do not sweat the small stuff. What do I mean by that? It is very easy to get caught in the cribbing mode, saying that somebody is operating more than me, somebody is having to go for less camps, less OPD duties than I am. Don't worry too much, especially when it comes to something like residency, which is limited. It is at the most 3 years or 3.5, whatever extension periods you might have. You are going to be released after that once you clear your exam. So don't cry over simple things. Don't cry over the little things that happen. And the rules are not the same for everyone. This does not have to be a shocker, because yes, somebody might be a little more influential, somebody might be in better books than you are, but that should not influence your work profile and your work ethic. And to win the war, which is the entire residency program, you have to survive the smaller battles, which are the individual month postings, the individual camps that you might go to. So just get through it and don't crib too much about what is happening around you. The number three is move your feet. What do I mean by that? You have to do extra, be extra, and push extra if you want to be better than most the people around you. Because everybody has a set protocol, everybody has a set schedule, and everybody is going to do that. So, what is going to be different in you? You need to be a little more than everybody else who is around you. Even if it's just 1% or 5%, does not really matter. You just have to be better and do more than everybody else. Start attending conferences, start presenting seminars, start attending workshops, whatever it may be. It does not need to be purely ophthalmological, could be something on finances, could be something on hospital administration. Just keep doing different things other than ophthalmology, so that you are not thrown into the deep end of the pool immediately after your residency is over. Start participating in organizing committees. That is something that I never did, and that is something I would want to change. Something that YOSI does very well, and I look up to them as a distinguished organization in
I have about
ophthalmology coming from
20 seconds, and then 3 minutes are over. So you have
Yes,
about
I'm done. I just have two more slides.
All
So
right.
start planning early is another principle that I would ask everybody, not just residents, to think of. Think of fellowships, think of practice, whether you want to enter a hospital practice, whether you want to start your own private practice. Second year of PG is something that I find to be a sweet spot to make these decisions, simply because first year there's hardly any thinking that is going on. You're just working, you're just in the wards, you're in the OR, doesn't really help in the thinking process. And once you make a decision, there is no looking back. Many residents spend 6 to 8 months maybe just thinking whether I made the right choice by picking up ophthalmology. And that's something that you do not do. Once you've made a choice, stick to it and then just keep looking forward. Final point, don't bother too much with existing protocols and dogmas. Innovation is always going to be risky and hence it will remain comfortable. And don't get caught up in the attitude that this is how it works. You might be the first person who aspires to do phacoemulsification in your batch, which is absolutely fine. Whether that aspiration becomes a reality is a secondary issue, but you have to dream big, you have to think big. Only then, maybe you dream 10 big things, one big thing might happen, but that might just separate you from the pack. And the penalty for mistakes is far less severe during residency as against any other private practice or something. So just experiment, innovate, and be a little more open to new things during a residency, because that is the best time to do so. And with that, I would conclude my presentation. Thank you, MOS, and thank you, YOSI, for giving me this opportunity.
Thank you so much, Dr. Rishikesh. I think that was a very wonderful points that you have put. The first thing that you put was very you want something, so you have to fight question to answer through your. So that and ask one of the speakers, Dr. Prithvi, because he has been a serial innovator throughout uh, the journey of innovation, and also Dr. Prasanna V. Ramesh, who is in audience. He will be filling for Dr. Karan Bhatia. So both of you, if you can please let us know what do you feel in residency, how somebody can innovate, because you have been serial innovator, both of you.
Prithvi, you want to go first?
Yeah, sure. So during PG residency, we just start understanding what is ophthalmology. It's not very easy. So initially it was not easy for me. So but then one of the thing was I like photography, and that's what connected me with ophthalmology, and that is what was lacking in our hospital also that time, because we didn't have many ophthalmic photography device. So then slowly the passion of photography went into ophthalmology, and that's how I started. But then we have to find time. It's not easy. It's not at all easy. You have to find time. I used to just sleep maybe 3 to 4 hours a day. That's all I used to sleep, because we had to finish studying theory, practical, all those things. And along with that, doing this thing also was a little difficult. But when you have some passion to it, it actually becomes very easy because you are focused that you need to do something, and it was not for awards or it was not for anything else. It was for my own happiness that I should. So that is exactly why I didn't feel that pressure on me. So we should do it. I should do it for my happiness. That was my hobby, and I was very passionate. That's exactly why I was able to do so many in my PG itself. Prasanna,
Yes, Prithvi. Just to add on to that, for me, innovations happened because I was not able to grasp the subjects more cleanly. So it was more of cognitive innovations that I started my journey in. Like, can we make video-based learning, animations, then maybe a lot of pedagogical aspects. Just Prithvi just pointed out. Can we accelerate learning with the 3D printing? So that's how, we started with creating content in terms of anatomy, and then going in terms of simulators. So teaching and imaging was always something that I felt in ophthalmology. We don't get to dissect structures. We don't get to, see and feel structures. Most of the time we tend to get things more of imagining learning. So that was one area where I felt I was a very weak student therein, and that's what led me to innovations, creating things which are day-to-day basis. You will have the idea surrounding you, and I think Nilesh also would agree. He was an innovator himself with the Diggs and the Diggs Pro, which was a smartphone-based one. Prithvi was doing IOL scope, and we had the chance to actually visualize even the mucor in the smartphone during COVID when we brought out a paper. So smartphone-based innovations and very practical basic sciences that you see in your day-to-day practice. I think those are the ones that was my way of approaching innovations, and that will lead to you to another path. One will lead to another. Once you are having a hold of your subject, then maybe if imaging is your niche, you will go into AI, augmented reality, and much more to explore. Yeah. Thank you, Moscon and Nilesh, for the opportunity.
Thank you so much, sir. I'll just like to ask one question to Archana ma'am before we move on to the next speaker, because she is an HOD. So if any residents approaches you with innovative idea, can you please, ma'am, tell how you will support that idea and how the resident can take it forward during residency?
Okay, so I'll just share my personal experience. Yesterday's experience. Our resident Dr. Akash Sorevar, he had clicked a photograph of pseudophakic bullous keratopathy on his smartphone, and we submitted this to IJO, and this has been accepted as the cover page on the IJO. And one more photograph he had clicked of traumatic cataract, and that has been accepted as a photo essay. So we have to promote our students, and they're very innovative technologically. I feel we are challenged than them because they are tech savvy, and so we have to promote them. And they use AI also. And many times, many teachers, they ask me, will AI replace the teachers? So it is not possible. But then we have to make them use AI judiciously. So as teachers, we have to promote them in all the innovations, and of course the AI also.
Thank you so much, ma'am. I think no innovator will be able to be innovator in the residency if HODs like you will not be supportive of them. So thank you so much for that, ma'am. Preeti, ma'am, we will move on to the next talk.
Yeah, so the next we have is Dr. Sonal Kalia. She's the Associate Professor at SMS Medical Colleges, Jaipur, and she's the immediate past president of YOSI. And she's been into practice for, I think, 7 to 8 years now. So she's so she's experienced both. She's not forgotten residency, and that's why she'll give her perspective and what it is, academic discipline and exam strategy. We know this very well. I mean, all our life we just do this. But here we not only have to network, you have to innovate, you have to learn surgical skills. So how do you, when you're doing all this together, how do you balance it? And so her talk is academic discipline and exam strategy, dedication for distinction. So you not only become good surgically, but you also get that D, which matters. So please go ahead, Dr. Sunil.
Good evening, everyone. I'm thankful to MOS for this wonderful opportunity. Is my screen visible?
Yes, it is.
the time in this talk is very short, and so is the time in residency. But you should know that your ultimate exam will not be the PG exam. It will be when you'll be actually sitting and operating. So this is one of my last cases. My mentor is standing and I'm operating, and he told me, today I want you to operate as if you've done your PG. So you have to learn that your ultimate goal is to be restoring vision, not just the exam. And preparation is the key, is a very understated thing here, because what we need to understand that the Olympian who's performing in the arena has practiced and broken that record so many times in his practice ground, but it does not matter. What matters is what he's doing when he is being tested. And during 3 years of PG, we can say so many adjectives are there to say what you want to do. But you should realize that these are your real teachers. If you are honest, sincere, and have an attitude of care towards these people, you will learn a lot. They are going to teach you. These patients, they are your ultimate teachers, much more important than the mentors that you're getting. So if you're getting these teachers, be thankful. There are many students who don't get so many patients at sometimes I see PGs are saying so many negative things. There's so many patients, so much workload. Be grateful for that workload. Someday you might be missing it. And as one of the speakers previously pointed out, you really cannot waste your time cribbing about why I took ophthalmology, change and everything. You have to use the power of compounding in your favor. This book, Atomic Habits, is wonderful. What it is actually trying to tell us is going to be very years. You should keep studying topics, seminars, and the intriguing cases in clinics, rounds, and OPDs. They will help you, and you will get 1% better each day. Forget the mutual fund, focus on your books. So, your practical skills, they are of utmost importance, definitely. But from the exam point of view, it is also important to learn how to document each and everything. And that you will probably also see when you're volunteering for the exam duties of the senior batches. Our exams just ended in our department. And coming to your OT preparation, see, you have to be learning how to visualize before an OT. If you know the case list of the person whom you are assisting, you are going to be well prepared, and you will be learning much more. The the eyes don't see what the mind doesn't know. So you have to know about the consent, the instruments, the case list. And after the OT, what you should be actually doing after the OT, you should be thinking, you should be writing, you should be noting down. Whether you operated or whether you were just assisting someone, it is an opportunity, and you are going to learn so much more if you have a habit of penning down what happened in the OT and what you learned and what you missed. Also, being active in research is very, very helpful. So moving forward, to a lot of opportunities are there these days, both online and offline. Why are they helpful? Because you will learn a lot of topics that are new to you, and they will open your mind to different ways of doing things. Now, coming down to the PG exams very quickly, the theory and the practical. What are they ultimately about? You have to lucidly present the coherently recollected thoughts. So what you've learned, how are you going to present it in front of someone else? So the previous year's question papers, well, I was a very old school person. I have sat down and written all of these with my hand, divided them, learned them. The standard textbooks cannot be replaced by notes, and you have to look at the review papers also occasionally. You have to build on the basics first. Rare will be asked rarely, common will be asked more. And after you built on your basics, you need to divide your own learning into what you are well versed in, what needs revision, and what you've never read. Sometimes we end up reading the same thing again and again. So that tendency needs to be checked. You should read, retain, revise, and reproduce through use of notes, use your iPad, use whatever way you can do it, make those diagrams, learn those landmark trials. But until and unless you revise, you will not be able to reproduce. Why? Because we have this tendency of forgetting. And after 1 week, this tendency, sorry?
Only 15 seconds now. 4 minutes were over.
No, this was a 5-minute talk actually.
1 minute for discussion.
Okay, I'm really
That's
sorry.
all
I
right.
didn't
Go ahead.
realize. It's going to end soon. So I was just wanting to emphasize that you are going to forget a lot. So for retention, you need to revise the same thing 7 days later and then 28 days later. And if you're revising daily, you will be in that habit. You have to build that habit basically. For the practical exam, case, OSCE, grand viva, thesis, all this is very important. More than that, what is important is your confidence and mindset. And when you have to present in the exam, you have to know not just the history and working DD, but the studies relevant to the topic itself. And just before the exam, you have to sleep well and have a proper schedule. Many times you've studied so much all through the 3 years, and then before the exam, if you've not slept well, you end up being, very, very disabled and not able to answer properly. And also, please learn to say no instead of guessing answers. If you don't know, the examiner will move on to the next question. But if you make up answers, they have seen so many people making up answers, then you will cast a very, very negative impression. Also, during the 3 years, people will be pulling you in different directions. You have to prioritize your time. If you prioritize your time, the gold medal is not far, definitely. Go to the movie or go to the library. That's your choice, absolutely. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. Al. Let me ask, Dr. How important is getting distinctions in your post-graduation? You learn clinical, you learn enough, but do you really go after a distinction? It takes some kind of, there will be some sacrifice. Either you will have to sacrifice some clinical thing or innovation to get that distinction. So do you suggest that distinction?
Distinction, yes, it is much coveted, but I would like to say that it's only on paper. So what you do, you have to stand as a surgeon. So for that, I think distinction is one step of the ladder. Okay. Even if you don't get distinction, if you improvise, improve, your surgical skills, you go ahead, learn new things. I think that is more important in life than having paper distinction.
True.
This is what I feel. So the distinction should come from your patients, their satisfaction, the gratification will come from your practice. Yes, knowledge is important. That is the basic. But yes, that is not the only thing what is required. This is my take.
Getting distinction in a paper is far different from having knowledge, Like you can be very knowledgeable, but not be a good exam taker. That's we've seen people who are like that. So prioritize your clinical expertise, know enough, keep on learning, I would say, and that is as good a distinction. So Dr. Nupur, I'm going to ask you, like you've been into practice now for a few years. Does it matter? A distinction in only gives you bragging rights, or it does help? What do you think?
I would like to just answer that, distinction, one should not aim for a distinction. You should aim to do well. As we commonly say that, keep doing your karma, the result will ultimately follow. So Dr. Sonal very well said that be honest, be sincere in whatever you do. When you're studying, when you're reading, you be sincere and honest towards that. When you're examining patients, you be sincere and honest towards that. So that is where your real distinction lies. And if you do this well, and of course, I believe that practicing for exams, case presentations is important, ma'am, because it helps your communication skills. What we don't, now in the retrospect and practice, now we realize that probably at that point of time, history taking consent, these things were just a formality. But now you realize the importance that somewhere this has helped you make you a better ophthalmologist, and it's helping us in our practice as well, in our communication with the patients. So definitely small nuggets of residency should be, you should not, just brush it off that it's not important. Every step of residency is important. It teaches us something. And why not aim for distinction? You should always aim for the moon. You may be just amongst the stars. So there's no harm in aiming for distinction. You should just work hard for it with sincerity, and results will ultimately follow. So that would be my thing. And yes, if you get a distinction, that means that you've worked hard and you work with sincerity, and it will help you in your practice. Definitely it does. The more knowledge you have, it shows in your confidence also when you're talking to the patients. So that is my thing.
And we get to put it till the end of time, we get to put it in your CV, right? So wonderful points by Dr. Naina Poddar and Dr. Nupur. So next, Nilesh, if you could.
Yeah. So before we move on, I'll just like to share an anecdote. Dr. Sonal Kale and Dr. Nupur Goyal both are PG batchmates, and one is gold medalist, other has also excelled, and both are at the same platform right now. So I think gold medal gives you that validation, but still not got that you can't aim, you can't become the moon later on. So that's there. So I
would just like to add, Nilesh, that Sonal got the very well-deserved gold medal because we saw her how hard she worked and she would keep pushing us as well. So really kudos to her. We've seen that, and I think it was again her, not her quest for the gold medal, but just her quest to do well in everything that she's doing, right from her surgery to her exams. So I think that was very well deserved, and that's what she's put up in her slides as well. Thank you.
Perfectly said.
So
Ma'am.
much, Nupur
So
and
we'll thank you. So we'll move on to the next talk by Dr. Prithvi. Dr. Prithvi is a veteran consultant at Dr. Chandrakant Eye Hospital at Kerala, Kozhikode. And he has been a good friend since my PG days, and we have been innovating together. He, in his own right, is a serial innovator, and he's going to give his talk on how to frugally innovate during residency. Dr. Prithvi, all yours.
Thank you, Nilesh, for the introduction. Thank you, YOSI, and thank you, MOS. I hope I'm audible and my PPT is seen.
Yeah, perfectly.
Yes, to both. Yes.
I'll be talking about frugal innovation during residency. As I told earlier that I was more into photography when I joined my post-graduation. And eventually what happened was very difficult to actually pursue my hobby of photography because residency is hectic. So that is when it became very difficult for me to actually do this. So these are all the photos that we used to take. And then got to in hospital pond. My mentor, not miss him, Zakara, he told me to do photography of the eye. That is what actually drove my passion into innovation. So the biggest problem and the need was that we didn't have a retina imaging device. So that is where I came with the idea of using a hand sanitizer bottle with a smartphone coupled with a 20D lens. So this is what the first innovation that I did. So as you can see, a sanitizer bottle was cut in such a manner that a 20D lens can be fit over there. So once that is done, then the other side, the smartphone was attached. So once that is done, then you can take retinal images very easily. So this was in 2019 that I actually did this. And this was presented in Tamil Nadu Ophthalmic Association as a physical poster. And then a lot of people applaud this innovation. And these are all the images that we took. And finally, what happened was they understood that I made a very cost-effective, frugal imaging device, and actually got it even in the newspaper. It was out in the newspaper that I had made an innovation which reduced the cost of the fundus camera. And then another person I cannot miss is Dr. Amol R. Dongre, who helped me publish this as an article. So this was the first publication that I did, and this was the innovation in ophthalmology, the first innovation in the ophthalmology article in IGO. So once that was done, so this is the first thing, and it also got published in the AIS Times. And then finally, I did a study out of it, and I also presented this in APO. That was my first international visit. And later, even IGO gave the certificate of merit for the best publication also for this article. The second thing which I did was the anti-segment photography with intraocular lens. The second problem statement was basically I couldn't take photos of this in slit lamp. So without the slit lamp during camps, I had to take photos, and I use an intraocular lens inside a paper, a chart paper. So once that was done, attaching the IOL inside the chart paper actually increase the macro lens photography of the smartphone. So this is what we did, and after attaching it to the smartphone, we can take images with videos. So these are all the images that we took. So these are all the images that we took. So this was the second innovation that I did in my residency. And then the next innovation was, so we thought, why not use more of these intraocular lens? Again, I presented in the state conference and I got awarded 2 awards. So then we used 30 diopter lens, 4 of them together. So this was the thing. And we started taking images of microbiology things, microscopic. So we use this, and we were able to take images of sample of slides like pathology slides and microscopic slides, taking of hyphae, fungal hyphae, parasites, So this was the third innovation that I did during my residency. So basically, doing innovation is not that difficult. You just need to find the actual problem and then find a solution which you can through all the OPD stuff, OPD things that we had. So you should have good observation of any of these problem statements. Be inquisitive and find the problem. It is always there in front of your eyes. Just search the solution for it, and there will be a lot. Be yourself. Just be yourself. Be positive. You don't need people who would tell you that that cannot be done. This cannot be done. If you have an idea, always pursue the idea and try to make it happen. And when you are in trouble, you should always have somebody who can help you. A mentor is very essential. Without a mentor, I wouldn't have been anywhere without Dr. John or Dr. Amul. These two people were actually so helpful for me, and they took me to heights. And even now, even today, if I have some problem, I talk to Dr. John. And you have a lot of opportunities out there. All India Ophthalmic, IGO, everybody gives you a lot of opportunity to publish and present and innovate. So
Dr.
take all
Prithvi,
these
can
opportunities.
you
Yes,
sum
sir.
up, please?
Yeah, done, ma'am. This is the last one. So
Okay.
if you have an innovation which has good results, try to get a patent. If not, then always have a published it in the journals. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Prithvi. It is again India to look at me that in on since last 6-7 years, and you have well. Would like to question with Naina, ma'am. Ma'am, are you there? Ma'am, so most of these frugal innovation, as you have seen, is based on a smartphone and with what we call in our language jugaad. So when Dr. Prithvi was lucky that when he went to his mentors, they actually allowed him to use that on the patients. But most of the time, what we see is even the patient not agreeing to get screened or get filmed with this smartphone jugaads. And also, most of the consultants are not very supportive of it. So how do you feel if any buddy is coming up to you or in your department with the similar kind of jugaad? What will be the process for them?
First thing I will do is encourage him. Understand his thought process. Understand what is the optics, how he's trying to do. Then, secondly, yes, he needs a platform where he has to, understand how his jugaad works. If we do not give that platform to him, if we do not convince the patient, then that is fruitless. So I would be very positive, make him think positively. Yes, hum karenge, we will do it. We will also encourage the patients. And if we document and if we show the photographs, I've observed that patients are become very interested in their condition or pathology, and they are more proactive. It also helps us in counseling. And I'm in a public sector hospital where we always do not have big equipments and great fundus cameras and all those things. And in daily OPD, where you don't have that much time to give to a person, or what we call it as a chair time, I think the small jugaad do wonders, and it helps us clear the doubts, clear the OPD, and I think we should be encouraging such jugaad.
Thank you so much, ma'am. I would like to put Dr. Niranjan Karthik on the spot and ask him a very financial question because he is also a finance expert. Dr. Niranjan, are you there? Dr. Niranjan just I lost him. Dr. Prasanna sir, Niranjan is here. I think Niranjan, you are there. So you are in a private hospital. Dr. Nirmal Frederick sir is heading that, and you have all the state-of-art equipment that is there to take this fundus photograph and anti-segment photography. And one of your residents is actually coming up with this jugaad where he can do it for free for what you are charging. So as a practitioner who is also into the commercial aspect of the business, how do you feel he will be placed in your setup?
Can't hear you.
Niranjan, again, we are not able to hear you.
We are not able to hear you.
Yeah, Nilesh, just chipping in for Niranjan a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Am I audible, sir?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, you go. I'll just continue after. Yeah.
Is my audio clear, sir? Now?
Clear.
Yeah. So sorry for the technical glitch. Thank you for the question, sir. So my take on this would be, firstly, yes, innovation will definitely be appreciated irrespective of the kind of setup, because it has its own ways of bringing glory and uh, usefulness to the practice. That is the first thing. And secondly, how innovation could be appreciated differently in a private setup would be, sir. We at our hospital have tie-ups with the nearby institutions. So there is this MRF research zone that we are associated with here at Tambram, where we have a tie-up and an MOU with them to collaborate with people from different specialities. So not only are we going to foster this keen interest of the person who's coming up to us, we can also provide them avenues with talents from different specialities, like we had at Hackathon at YOSICon 25. So we can provide them avenues, especially in a small setup. Even the institutions ready to collaborate with us, which is much simpler because we can take a decision and sign up an MOU with ease. So I think that would be a very big plus point in a private setup like this. So the way forward, we can collaborate with different institutions and help them take it to the or simply put across, incubate their innovation. That would be the thing here, sir.
A quick point, just to add on to Niranjan. Any innovation doesn't stop with presentation, as Prithvi was saying, and for an award. If it's a good innovation, go for patenting your innovation. Again, Nilesh has done that. That is a whole topic by itself. And also, if you feel it is there is a scope for startup, please start your own MSME. I have an experience of starting my own startup, which is now 4 years old, and we have brought it as a subunit of the parent organization. And you will see that you will be able to get a lot of grants for innovation if you have your MSME, your startup orientation done for it, which will make a lot of impact when you leave the country and try to present your work outside, where you'll be able to get a lot of extramural grants for your work. So that's again, if you want to go the long way, that's another part. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I think that was a very fruitful points that was put forward by both of you. Preeti ma'am, we will move on to the next talk.
Yeah, so an innovator needs two things: persistence and perseverance. You just cannot, you can have an idea in your head, but until you put it into paper, persevere, talk to people, talk to every person. They annoy the hell out of them, but you will find people who will encourage you. So that's persistence and perseverance. So now we have the next speaker, Dr. Anujit Paul. He's a VR surgeon at BBI Foundation, Kolkata, and he's going to talk to us on journey to publishing a paper. We are in an era which says publish or perish, but you still want to have meaningful papers. So how do you start? So please, Dr. Anujit.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you, Preeti ma'am. Thank you, Anaga ma'am. Thank you, Nilesh sir, as well as Devakan sir, YOSI, as well as MOS. It gives me great pleasure to be a part of this webinar. So the first question that residents ask is, why should I even consider publishing? So the reason I tell them is to, number one, most importantly, is to get a lay of the land and to become an authority on the subject. Publishing gives you this unique opportunity. It also provides you an incentive to read. And finally, it provides you visibility in terms of a portfolio. You can see over here, this on the left is Google Scholar and on the right is ResearchGate. The more you publish, the more you get yourself acquainted to these sort of portfolios. So firstly, where to start? So usually when you enter residency, what you get is an original article, which is your dissertation to work on. And along with that, you can also work on short communications, which are case reports, etc. And if you do get lucky, I will discuss how you can even think about a narrative or systematic review. As you go this side, that means towards the right, they become easier to write. That means these are the easiest to write. While if you go towards the left, they become more difficult to publish. So the easiest place for a resident is somewhere around this center area where they can easily go from publishing, thinking, as well as republishing their papers. So what to do in the first year of residency? So the most important thing is to choose your dissertation carefully, see what it adds to the literature pool, whether the subject matter is fairly new and can the subject matter be reviewed on later. I will get into this a little bit in detail. I would suggest to finish off your introduction and review of literature writing as well as collecting samples towards the first year and look out for case reports. The question is how to look out for case reports. So what is actually worth reporting? Usually something unique, a new modality of treatment, or something that adds something new to the data pool. Rare features of rare diseases. You can see over here, there is a huge tongue twisting name. So unveiling a rare etiology of nasolacrimal duct obstruction, etc. in nasoethmoidal encephalocele. This is a 1 in a million case. If you get it in your residency, excellent. You are very lucky, you can report it. Another thing worth reporting is rare features of common diseases. So melioidosis is a relatively uncommon disease in India, except for the south. But sometimes we found soft exudates as an initial presentation of melioidosis, and we reported it as a mimic, whereas melioidosis itself is a mimic. Sometimes common features of common diseases, but rare in some types of age, gender, and population can be reported. We usually see this picture a lot in our OPD, nevus of Ota, but very rarely do we see it combined with a nevus on the back, which is a nevus of Ito. So just keeping your eyes open in residency can help you publish some very interesting things. Second year of residency. This is a time where you have a bit more idea about your dissertation. I would suggest that you should consider finishing off your discussion and make an attempt to publish the preliminary results. This is at state or at national conferences. If possible, like the way I said, go in for a case report. And this is a very interesting thing. Your journal clubs, if you choose papers within the last 6 months, you can discuss with your seniors or your professors and convert them as a letter to the editor. And finally, publishing images. So in my second year of residency, it was unfortunately COVID times, would we publish different ways of doing wet lab training as well as different ways of doing indirect ophthalmoscopy. These were all letter to the editors, which were easily published. Interesting photos that taken. These are all taken with smartphone at the slit lamp. This is an asymmetric presentation of lesion nodules, and the picture on top is cataract purulenta. The nevus of Ito and Ota were also there. Final year of residency. So final year, if you've chosen something that will add something to the literature pool or something that is fairly new, you should go ahead and publish it. If you choose something that can be reviewed, you must think, if not a systematic review, at least a narrative review to go forward. So here's a brief workflow for residents in maybe 30 seconds time. Ideally, you should choose a physically published, peer-reviewed, index, state, national, or international journal with a high impact factor for your first publication. You can always go on to the website of the journal. Over here, I've chosen our mother journal, IGO, and look for these criteria before you go in for publishing. The ideal way is to do a review of literature from PubMed. However, if you start with a basic research term in the PubMed search, you will see that there are almost 14 lakh entries. So this is something which has been discussed a lot. You can always go into the advanced search and go in for Boolean operators. You can choose which letters or which words you want to search for and choose whether you want it in the title and the abstract. So if you're looking for AMD and anti-VEGF or something like that, you can choose for that to be in the title and you can directly search for your article. You would need a reference manager. The go-to is Zotero, but however, I'm a little bit more comfortable with Mendeley, where all my articles are grouped over here and I can always click on them and reference all the articles. I always see residents struggle with Google Docs, but I would suggest, sorry, Microsoft Word, but I would suggest Google Docs. That changes the entire game. You don't have to keep sending Microsoft Word documents across. You can see that all the edits that are made are always seen in line. So there's no chance of someone missing an edit when you're sending it across between your professors and yourself. A small blueprint for residents while framing your case report. A case report is nothing but a case presentation with a review of literature, something that is rare with the literature reviewed and discussed in your discussion. When you're thinking of original articles, the first thing you need to think of is a research question, the nature of your study, whether it's prospective, retrospective, cross-section, or longitudinal, collecting the data and presenting. Yes. And then towards the conclusion, just one line. In my first year, I just had to request my seniors to give me something. And first thing I got was a case report. In my second year, I went on to publish a few more articles. And by the final year, I published 10. And from then on, I've gone on to keep on publishing. It's like a bug that bit me and did not stop. And with the help of Prasanna sir and Nilesh sir and everyone at YOSI, I've been a part of a lot of other tiny, tiny achievements of their lives. And with that, I think if I could do it, then so can you. Thank you.
So that was very well put, Dr. Anuji, and in a very short. So I have learned that in 3 to 4 minutes, you can say a lot. You don't really need an 8-minute lecture for that. So now let me just come across to Dr. Archana, that you have so many residents and who join, and each person has to have a different topic for a thesis. So, and it has to be relevant. It just cannot be something which you give for the sake of it. So how do you decide? How do you do your research? How do you say whether this can be a paper? Because it could be their first publication. So how do you give them their thesis topic?
Yeah, so we have 8 admissions per year, and soon from next year, they're going to be 15 admissions per year. So we have 24 residents at any given time. So we have like a lot of PG teachers as well. And we have to see the literature, and we have to find out the lacuna in the literature. And from the lacuna and the instruments that are available with us, we have to think about the feasibility of the topic. And so the equipments, the instruments that we have, and the patient load that we have, and then if we have the vitreoretinal setup, or we have the concerned via surgeons, or oculoplasty surgeons, whatever. So depending on all this, we have to give them the thesis topic. But first is important is we have to review the literature and then find out the lacuna in the literature, and then see the feasibility of the infrastructure that we have. So according to that, we give them the thesis topic. And we have a cancer institute also, the State Cancer Hospital, which is attached to our hospital. So we give them the topics from the Cancer Institute as well.
So the first is, what are the resources available?
Yeah.
And what are the lacunae in literature? So the
Yeah.
feasibility, both these are important.
The infrastructure.
True. Now, Dr. Nupur, I'll ask you. What is the advice to residents who are afraid of rejection? See, the first paper you submit is always special. After that, you learn the journey, you realize that rejections are part of the game. But when your first paper is rejected, it really puts you down, and maybe you give up the journey. So what's your advice?
So I'll just request if Dr. Prasanna is around. He once did this fantastic presentation. He keeps telling me. So if ma'am, with your permission, I would request him to take this question. He's the right person to speak about it.
The question alone, ma'am. I just missed the question.
Okay.
About rejection.
The question is, your first paper is rejected.
Done, ma'am. 63 rejections in IJO, ma'am. I have my photograph of my dashboard. I still cherish it. So first 20 publications in IJO was rejected. My 21st publication in IJO was the one that was accepted, my first PubMed. So actually, ma'am, it's all time tested. We have to try again. But though it got rejected, every time when it got rejected, the reviewers' comments made me revise it again. And again, I sent it back. Again, it got rejected. So, and then finally, you'll have to select a different journal. You'll know after some time it doesn't work. But rejections will actually make you a better person, because the paper will get refined. You'll have to not stop with that. You'll have to refine it and then either resubmit it to the same journal or resubmit it to a different journal. Yeah, you'll have to take it very sportively and positively. Otherwise, you will not be able to move forward. Yeah.
So what I wanted to bring out is that these are things, our clinical practice, seeing patients, operating cataracts, is relatively straightforward. If you have to innovate, if you have to publish, it requires a different thought process. It requires a belief in yourself. It requires a belief in your innovation that yes, no, whatever I have has its worth. And then persistence, perseverance, and all these people have spoken about good mentors. That when you find a mentor, you catch on and you latch on to that mentor and use them. And they are willing to give advice, That's the beauty of being a good mentor. So, Dr. Nilesh, can we go on to the
Ma'am,
next?
can I add one
please,
thing?
Please,
Yeah,
of course.
yeah, Anuji, that was very well presented, excellently summed up. So one thing which I would like to also add to the residents is that, before you start on your publishing journey, it's also important to understand to interpret journal articles. So very good way to do that would be to participate in journal clubs. So I think YOSI has a fantastic journal club, which is being led by Dr. Prasanna, and Anujit is a part of the team. And I think ARC is also doing a fantastic journal club. So I would encourage all the residents to attend these journal clubs and participate, because we actually discuss the biostatistics aspects, the positive and the negative aspects of the article. So when you learn to interpret the articles, you can actually apply it when you are, you can bring out the thought process. As Dr. Preeti mentioned, it requires a different thought process. So these journal clubs will actually stimulate you to, go ahead in your publishing journey. So start doing that, if you're
Also,
not.
in your PJ activities, you can include your, departmental journal club, and there also these residents can, they can present their journals, and that's how they, they read the journals or they read the literature, and then they can go ahead with, and they can think and, go ahead with these publishing thing.
So the YOSI Journal Club is very structured. It's done in a MARI format, which actually analyzes the journal club of a journal article in a very systematic manner. So these can be, emulated in your departments also, ma'am. So attending journal clubs, I think MOS also has a very fantastic journal club.
Yes,
Dr. Parul is one of the coordinators. So journal clubs, I think, should be something which all PGs should be, doing.
And just to add on, ma'am, before moving on to the panel discussion, is that journal clubs are not only for getting you stimulated for writing. The reading of a journal article is itself in an art is an art. If you don't understand what it becomes when you come into the practice, you are a puppet in the hands of industry, because they will come and tell that today this thing is working, then tomorrow this thing is working, and there is no difference between this and that, and they will show you an article. But if you actually understand how to read that article and take that point forward, you will analyze that what is the effectiveness and what is the efficacy and safety of any drug that is being presented to you. So it is not very important to write articles, but also to read it properly and understand. Right now, I think it is happening with Ozempic. There's so much of talk about it, but everybody is saying it's wonder drug. But when you actually read the article, there are certain aspects that will tell you how good or bad it is. Similar thing happened with, I think, the presbyopic drops and even the mitro. So it has to be understood that how good and bad they are, because there will always be contradicting aspects of it. So, ma'am, shall we start with the panel discussion?
Ma'am, just to add one point on a lighter note on rejections, the current IGO portal or the newer portals that we are using, the home dashboard only shows the rejected articles. So if your article gets accepted, it disappears from the portal and it goes somewhere else. But if it's in review or rejected, so every time I log in, I get a fresh look at all my rejected articles. And it's not as high as Prasanna, sir, but just on a lighter note, that's how the article has been made. Just it stimulates me to submit my next manuscript.
I have to go and click the button 100. Ma'am, I have to go and click the button 100 so that I'll get the articles, because it's 10 or 20, only the rejections will be seen.
Also, ma'am, we have a very robust research and publication team, I think, which Dr. Anujit and Dr. Sonal are a part, and they do these fantastic sessions, so anybody who's interested, they can get a very good guidance. Anujit, would you want to elaborate something on the RSTC that you do?
We can go on to panel discussion, Nupur, because
sure,
we
ma'am,
have
sure, ma'am, sure.
15 minutes, no? 8:30
sure, ma'am, sure,
end. That's the reason.
Yeah, we'll continue this discussion in our WhatsApp groups and other media. So I'll initiate the panel discussion, and because this is a question that is for teachers, so I'll ask Dr. Archana ma'am and Dr. Naina ma'am this question. Is that in your experience, can you spot a resident in first year which is going to excel during the post graduation from the gamut that you get during the residency, and how do you nurture them differently than other residents?
Naina ma'am, would you like to go for it?
Yes, yeah. Actually, I always see that I do not favor any student. All are equal. But if I see any or if I spot any, different, he has some different inclination and different aptitude for something. Yes, I encourage him. I talk to him or her, whoever she is, and always there is a feedback. Whatever is happening, there's a constant feedback from him, and it's the mentoring also happens both ways. So that the student also feels a little empowered.
Archana?
See, there are some students who just finish their post-graduation, and there are some students who really shine well. And it's all about the mindset of the student. And we can, spot immediately because of our teaching experience now. There are some students they're very curious, and as Naina ma'am said, the feedback is also important. And when we get 360-degree feedback, like it's not from only the other teachers, but also from the nursing staff or from the mamas, maushis, and class 4 servants or the clerks, and most importantly, their peers and the patients. So we get feedback, 360-degree feedback about the resident, and so according to the feedback also, we can give them inputs like how to improvise, or what are they lacking in, or we can support them in all the essential manners.
Sonal ma'am, also your take, because you have been an outstanding achiever in your academics as well. So how do you right now you are in the teaching job, the roles have reversed. So how do you spot them, and what is the quality that makes you understand that this is the person who's going to shine?
I think that when the PG students are there who are working more dedicatedly, getting more involved, you can really make out that this person is going to go far. And even if they're not working directly with you, they are in a different unit. Somehow, I think they will come in contact with you. Your paths will cross, and then you are able to, even if it's a distant connection. And me being connected with YOSI, a lot of students do come in touch with me, even if they're not working directly under me. So I think I am able to make that out. And from my part, all I do is I just keep sending them the YOSI and other AI-based related opportunities and webinars and any reading material that I come across. And I offer to, take on their doubts in whatever subspecialty that, they want to connect, with me per se, personally, which they are maybe, feeling that they need some help in this or I mean, but that's just my experience because it's short. So I think I would defer to what Naina ma'am and Archana ma'am said. They are much more experienced. So what they are saying is going to count definitely much more.
So can we go to the
That,
next?
yeah, Naina ma'am wants to make some point on this.
Yeah. I would like to add one thing. If I see, I want to talk about the converse thing. Like if I see if a student is weak, introvert, I do handholding more. I support him more because a student who is good is already motivated, and he's forthcoming. But there are some students who are a little, shy, laid back. Those are the students who really need handholding, and I feel as teachers we should support them more than the other bright students.
So true. Many times we come across in our private practice also, we have people who work for us, and it's not something, there are tangibles and intangibles which tell you, okay, this person is different from others. I mean, you encourage them, but as Dr. Naina said, that look out for the people who will do well if you handhold a little more. Yeah. So both are important. And so can we go to the next question, Dr. Nilesh? Is that all
Yes,
right?
ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
So I would suggest, I would direct this question to Dr. Sonal and Dr. Nupur because they still remember their residency. So Dr. Sonal, you tell me, what are the 3 things you developed, surgical skills, 3 most important surgical skills during your residency? And Dr. Nupur, the same question is going to come to you too. The 3 most important surgical skills in your residency.
So, from what I understand from your question, you want a surgical skill, not the surgery per se?
Yeah, so it could be surgical skill, like you're doing a phaco. I'm not talking about doing a phaco. It's observing like how your foot pedal works or how your hand works, those kind of nuances, like holding the instrument properly, or wet labs, doing wet labs. So did you do that? Because as you said that the number of surgeries, when I was a resident, I did about 500, 600 surgeries. But now many people may not have the opportunity to do that. So what, in limited resources, what are the skills that you will develop?
Definitely, the resources at SMS were not limited in any way. We had a lot of patient pool, but the numbers are not 500 and 600. I would not lie over there. Yes, but what I can say with confidence is that I actually ended up joining my own institute, my own alma mater, just a month later as senior resident. So, and then I was shifted to a different unit, and there I could within 2 months span I could test my own skills. And from what I understood, that I learned SICS, and I did it independently, absolutely, immediately after passing out. FACO cases, the easy ones, I did them immediately after passing out independently. For the difficult cases, I needed a little bit of hand holding, and thereafter I improved slowly. And all the corneal tears and all, I could do them independently. So I think those three things I did learn very properly. And thereafter, other skills I started picking up in my senior residency. So if you're talking of core surgical skills, yes, the exposure in SMS was a little different unit wise. That is something that is there in many other hospitals also. It's not something that is unique to SMS per se. I was blessed with a good unit, I should say, and blessed with a very good mentor. All mentors are good, not to say that, but sir gave definitely a lot of surgical opportunities, and he did not discriminate. So as Naina ma'am was saying, one should not play favorites. So the person who's not his candidate but the candidate of the other professor, even he got the similar number of cases as I did. What I think was different for me was there was this ESCRS module. I think it was very helpful to me. It was a surgical ESCRS iLearn platform where I did a lot of, I completed a lot of questionnaires before I was actually doing those independent surgeries in my last days of residency. So those were very, very helpful things for me. And I'm extremely confident that a lot of students, even if they get lesser number of surgeries, but as Nupur had pointed out, that the quality matters more than the quantity. So the replication of steps and everything, if done with a teacher who's noticing what quality of learning is going on, then the numbers will matter, but not matter to that extent. That is what I have understood from my entire training, and that is what I try to do. So when I'm teaching a student surgery, then I'm there like throughout the surgery. I try my best not to, but there's a very thin line. When you are standing, suddenly they are nervous, and if you go far, then also they are nervous. So sometimes it's very confusing that what you should be doing. So that is something that probably I will also learn with experience, that where to handhold more and where to handhold less.
So Nupur, just three tips.
So my thesis guide was Dr. Mukesh Sharma sir, who's a prolific oculoplasty surgeon. So I think the biggest thing that I developed from him was exposure to oculoplasty surgeries and seeing his dynamism. I felt that this is something different. So I was said that I would want to become an oculoplasty surgeon. So that is one thing that I developed during my surgical OT with him. The other thing which I learned from him, that whenever he was operating, he would constantly keep saying, he would constantly keep giving small nuggets with respect to Rexes. Have you read this? What is a sharing force? What is a tearing force? So that is something which really stimulated me to, probably go back and read. And this is something which I also probably follow. Whenever I am operating, and if I have an assistant, who's a resident or a fellow, I tend to keep, constantly speak while I'm operating. So that helps, it's learning both the ways. That is one thing. The other thing is also that at our Sonal would agree that the draping and everything would be done by the residents. So that I think was very good, which helped us. And also giving good blocks. We used to give a lot of blocks. So I am so confident in my blocks that when I was doing a private practice, where we did not have any block person, I would confidently give my blocks. And I think I'm very proud of that skill, that giving good blocks is one of my fortes. So this is why surgery.
I would say from these two things, the takeaway would be that you observe good surgeons, and you also observe your fellow residents, because they're going to make mistakes and you're going to learn from their mistakes. So you will probably not make the same mistakes again. So you learn from a brilliant surgeon, but the smaller nuances, because they are so good, you will not learn, you learn them from your co-residents. So I would say both are important, good surgeons and the surgeons who are learning. That would be a good tip. And
Can I make one point that hammered to me actually, because we as a resident we get very fascinated by surgeons who are doing very fast surgeries, like they do, but what we need to observe is the surgeon who is very meticulous. So they specifically used to tell me that don't watch that superstar because he is doing a very fast surgery, because that will come later. You have to observe the most basic surgeon who is doing all the basics very correctly, so that you don't make a mistake. So I think that is one.
So whatever steps you do them correctly.
Correct.
That's what it is. Now, quality over quantity, right?
Yes, ma'am.
So,
So
Nilesh,
we'll move on to the next question, and I'll direct this to Dr. Niranjan and Dr. Anujit, because I have seen them do this. I just want to ask their opinion beyond developing your academic and surgical skills. How do you feel? How much important is networking during your residency to make you grow, not just to make connections and create opportunities, but to grow as a resident?
So I'll just take the question while Niranjan is logging in. So at any conference, after the speaker finishes speaking, the speaker is always looking for someone who has listened to his talk, someone who he can interact with. The same goes with the panelists. So what I call the area just beyond the first four benches where the chairpersons and the panelists are sitting, I call it the networking zone. That is the zone where you can freely interact with whoever you want. It may be someone whose book you have read, it might be a doctor whose surgery you've seen, it might be something from YouTube. What I have done, I have gone freely up to them. And I think the first person I had done this with is Dr. Mohan Rajan sir. And he just said that all junior residents, everyone are stars. It is our job to make them superstars. So I think that word struck with me, and it had a very positive impact on how I approach my seniors or my go-getters. And since then, everyone wants to connect with you. Everyone wants to know what's happening around them. So it's a false notion that the speaker is someone who cannot be spoken to beyond the talk, or the panelists or someone will only discuss among themselves. The one thing to do is to always remember that in any conference, any connection that you make will come back and connect with you somewhere or the other in the future. Most of the connections that I've made in city CMEs have come and reaped good results in national CMEs or national conferences as well. So never think any place is small. Never think that any opportunity is an opportunity that you can just throw away. Try to take as much opportunities as possible, and because that has really helped me grow.
Can I add to it?
Yeah, Niranjan, please.
Yes, sir. So, in connection with what Dr. Aniket has said, I would like to take it in continuation with that. So, conferences for residents again are the best places for networking, because always the first connection is made in person rather than over a phone call or anything for that matter. So, the first tip from my side to the residents would be, get your, I mean, this is again in relation to research, is to get at least a paper ready for your first conference. This is again, I would say, a hack rather than a tip, because you need something to tell your department and the college that you want to go to a conference for. Now, in the first year of residency, yes, it may be difficult, but still, I would like to acknowledge my residency institute, RIO Chennai, because as a first year postgraduate, I had a case report to present. And I got the opportunity to present it at AAOS and simultaneously participate in the quiz there. So, my suggestion or a tip would be to first get a paper ready in hand so that you get the opportunity to be at a conference. And as Anijit mentioned, that is the way to take it forward from there and build networking, and not to miss out again on the local CMEs in your area, because the connections you get there can really take you a long way at the national or the state forums. So this would be my suggestion, sir.
Hello. And I
Yeah,
would
sorry.
just,
Yeah,
I
ma'am,
would
please.
just add one thing. Not everybody is as bold as the people sitting here. Many people have that innate fear that if I approach this person, will I be ridiculed? Will he reject me? That is a sincere fear for many of us. But as I have become a little senior, I would realize if any junior comes to me and says, I want a chance at presentation, I'm not going to say no. So it's like this, that approach a person. Don't be scared that this person is senior, is not going to allow me. How can I approach? Remove that fear from the mind. Most of them will encourage you, and that would be the first step also towards networking. Approach a person. You are
Yeah.
a doctor in your own right. Believe in yourself, right? So that's what
I agree to it, ma'am. I'll admit here that I was a pharmacologically dependent actually introvert. I had to even take beta blockers to talk to everyone. And Dr. Santosh Sonawar sir had come during my residency to give a talk in my institute, and I was not able to approach him and ask a simple question that I wanted to ask. Now I talk to him freely. That is a different thing. But that time I had to take drugs actually to actually be able to talk to them. But now in hindsight, I feel that if I would have been more proactive at that time, probably I would have done much more better than what I'm doing today.
fear of rejection
So
is always there
yeah,
in us, when we are juniors.
yeah,
So that's what, do not fear it. Most people will say yes and they'll give you a very nice hearing.
yeah.
So
And I feel we should, design our PG activity program in such a way that all the residents they get a chance to speak during their residency. Like they have to present n number of seminars or n number of cases or n number of journal clubs, and that's how they can overcome this fear that Dr. Nilesh has suffered from. So we as teachers, we should design the PG activity programs in that particular way.
yeah, so sometimes, we should, because I remember I wasn't a good public speaker at all. I mean, I used to suffer from the same thing as Dr. Nilesh. I would forget half my speech when I went onto the podium. So the first time I went onto the podium in front of 400 people, I completely forgot my speech. In 1 minute, I was down. And then my husband says, wonderful speech. I knew it was rubbish, but that really cheered me on, and persevere and you'll be fine. That's what I wanted people to take home from this. So we can have the next question is, do we have time or do we take the next talk?
Ma'am, we'll take this will be a nice segue to start the next talk by Dr. Ankita, which is about mental resilience.
Sure.
She is this was one of my it actually chanced upon me that Dr. Devanshu Arora, who was my senior during diploma and had seen me suffer, he actually pivoted from ophthalmology and he started startup called as Thriving Minds, and it was actually working to support each and everyone who needs help of these kind. And Dr. Ankita Pradarshini she is the co-founder of that Thriving Mind, and they have graciously collaborated with YOSI, and they have agreed to provide support to any resident who is feeling mental stress. And throughout this series of YOSI MOS webinars, we are going to have them as a special talk. And today's topic she's going to talk about is how to develop mental resilience during the residency and not to get burnt out. Dr. Ankita, all yours.
Thank you, Dr. Nilesh. I'm Dr. Ankita, as Dr. Nilesh rightly mentioned, and I'm a psychiatrist by profession. Dr. Devanshu is my co-founder. I am founder of Thriving Minds. As a psychiatrist, I am the clinical lead here at Thriving Minds. And Dr. Devanshu encouraged me that yes, he has a very good bond with Dr. Nilesh, and he said that yes, why not? We should offer this help to even our own fraternity who often struggle with mental health problems, and somewhere we shy from expressing it out because we feel that if we are the ones who come into the trap of these problems, then what about the other people? What about the patients that we are treating here? So to begin with that, I would start it. Thank you for this great opportunity, Dr. Nilesh. So I will start with my presentation. Is it visible to you all?
Yeah,
Yes.
visible.
Okay, right. Thank you. So we'll begin with resilience in residency, which is protecting. I'm specifically
Dr. Ankita,
targeting
if you
here.
don't mind, after 10 minutes, can I give you a reminder, please?
Yes, absolutely. Yes, sure. So this is specifically targeting mental health in ophthalmological training, because this I have specifically curated for the residents in ophthalmology. So if we talk about why should we talk about a resilience in residency, first of all? So we know that residency involves intense learning, but it's a high pressure, I would call it a job as well, because you are not just learning there, you are also practicing it there. And it's the simple replica of what you will be doing in future. It has long hours, and especially in your case, it is more of surgical precision demands, and you're constantly being evaluated based on the results. Unlike any other medical field where it will take time to see the results, here the results are very instant. Therefore, the burnout risk is highest in the surgical specialties, including here in ophthalmology. And resilience is not avoiding stress, but it is adapting to it effectively. People say those who are more resilient, they don't face stress, they don't feel that of burnout, or they don't feel that pressure. But it's precisely not. It's more about adapting to it effectively. Now, we should understand why the stress in ophthalmology residents are actually outgrowing now. So you know that it's microsurgery, which requires high focus, it requires more fine motor skills. There are a lot of performance anxiety, which is usually there in the early surgical training, specifically the first year or the first few months at least of the surgical intervention in your residency period. You fear a lot of complications. I know few of them, like capsular rupture or your post-op edema, which becomes very difficult to manage sometimes. Plus the competitive academia. Gone are those days when they say that okay, ek baar aap PG mein enter kar jao, and then everything will be hunky dory. That's not the case here. So you have a lot of competitive academic structure where you have to focus more upon the thesis deadlines, logbook pressure. You have to follow a certain journal clubs. You have to have a lot of lectures, talks that you need to keep on delivering, but with a very limited emotional outlets. It's often silent suffering that a person goes through. Now, what could be the psychological impact here? Of course, chronic stress. It leads to a lot of irritability, insomnia, sometimes fatigue. That further leads to emotional blunting. That is your low motivation and sometimes even imposter feelings that, do I even deserve it? What have I done to reach this stage? And if I deserved it, then why am I not able to perform myself here? So there could be leading to decision fatigue, what we call. Then it could be a lot of clinical errors. It is commonly seen most of the times. I remember our consultants used to say, you people seem to be zoning out. You are not focused here. You have to deliver it better. Though you have long working hours, but you have to ensure that you deliver at the utmost level. That leads to further burnout, right? Which is nothing but emotional exhaustion, depersonalization. You don't feel that you are there in your body. You feel that something else is going around you. You feel that, okay, I'm just, a mute observer of what is happening around me. I'm not there. Then reduce personal accomplishment. Even though you have achieved something, you don't feel that, okay, it belongs to me. I belong here with my achievements. Then what resilience is actually? It is technically not toughing it out. It's not like, okay, you have put a false facade here around and you are something which is impenetrable. You are someone who does not feel any form of stress. Resilience is technically psychological flexibility plus recovery capacity. That means even if you are psychologically burdened, you do bounce back. So in our terminology, resilience is nothing but bouncing back from any stressful event. That includes emotional regulation, problem-solving strategy, problem-solving skill, realistic optimism. Not that, okay, everything will be fine. Every day, all is well, all is well. Chanting that thing is not realistic optimism. Support seeking. Should not shy away from asking for the support. If I'm not able to do something, please feel free. Openly ask for support. You can ask for support from your consultants. Like I just heard Dr. Nilesh speaking about, how he was a little bit skeptical earlier, but then it came out openly for him. Meaning making in work, not just robotic way of dealing with problems, but genuinely feeling that yes, what I am doing is something worth it, something worthwhile, and something I can feel happy and satisfied about. Then what are the common cognitive traps in resident? All or none thinking. If I make a mistake, I'm incompetent. That is very, very commonly seen among them. Comparison bias. Others are better than me. Always comparing themselves that yes, if he's able to do it better, if he has accomplished, I am not able to do it, then I'm nothing. Catastrophizing, like one complication, it is going to ruin my entire career. My consultants are not going to see me from that level now. They're going to fail me. They're going to not give me good marks, or they will remember it till the end day of my residency. All these things. Then guilt over self-care. That is, if I'm resting, I'm wasting my time. That happens a lot of times. Then, when you are really exhausted and when you find some time for yourself, you feel that no, I don't deserve it. I need to work upon myself more effectively. Some building practical resilience, how to do that? Firstly, small realistic strategies play the major role here. Firstly, micro breaks. 20 seconds, what I call 20 seconds chair side breathing in OT. Just go there, take 10 deep breaths, come back, start doing your work again. Again, anchor routines here. I know you have long working hours, we have night duties going on back to back, postings here, there, rotation wise. You have to go for camps, but make sure that at least you have your fixed meal and sleep window. That has to be at least consistent, and that has to be fixed. Then mental rehearsal before surgery. I remember one of my professors during my residency period, whenever he used to take early morning OTs, whenever he would go there, he would rehearse all the procedures. Okay, I'll do this, I'll do that, this person has this level of complication, so I'll tackle this. And I used to often see him that, okay, he's so perfect in his surgery, and he would say that, yes, that's because I completely rehearse what I'm going to perform there. He's not there anymore, but it used to be a great deal. I remember that from him. Then debriefing after complications. A lot of times our consultants are otherwise very supportive of us, what we are going through. They understand if there are certain complications which are going on, but it has to be normalized. It is not something which needs to be pointed out again and again. So there has to be a debriefing after any complication occurs. Therefore, we have to normalize learning from our mistakes. It should be taken well. It should be given in a very well and respectful manner. Then, what are emotional regulation tools? I call it 4-7-8 breathing, OT friendly technique. Here, what you have to do, you have to take 4-second inhalation, hold your breath in, 4-second inhalation time, 7-second holding your breath in, and 8-second exhalation part. Do it at least 5 to 6 times, and you will feel you're very, very grounded during your intense OTRs, intense time when you feel that, okay, things are not working out for you, or you have multiple OTs to perform and you have no time to actually take breathing. Breathing is very, very important. Then box breathing before tough cases. Here, what we do, we often have if you have been traveling, you will notice that in a lot of flights, they have this, packets that is basically designed for box breathing. You have to just, blow it in that, paper wrap, and you have to just practice this 4-7-8 technique. That would be really, really helpful to you to build that emotional regulation and calming down effect at that point of time. Then I have my personal favorite, which is stop technique, and I often give it to my patients who overthink. Firstly, pause. That is your stop. Then take a breath. Third, observe your emotions, what you're feeling at that point of time, what is the chaos that is going on in your mind, and proceed mindfully. As it mindfully here means the thought which I'm thinking at this point of time, is it even valid? Does it have any other consequences? Is it going to benefit me at this point of time? Is it going that will help me in any way at this particular junction? That is how do you proceed mindfully. Then certain things which we don't practice, which is work-life integration here, because our work becomes our life at this point of time. And the whole point here is not to balance, but to blend well. How effectively you are able to blend well is something that we call as balancing here, because it is not possible that once you have long hours of duties going on, you would not have any form of work or life integration in a proper manner. So effectively, you have to, give adequate time to your academics. Effectively, you have to give adequate time to your family. Effectively, you have to give adequate time for yourself as well. So that means you have to protect at least 20 minutes per day for mental hygiene. Mental hygiene here means a tick mark. How am I feeling today? Am I feeling emotionally well? Do I need to talk to somebody? Am I in my best shape? Am I feeling productive enough? All these things, that's normal mental hygiene. Did I eat well? Did I have enough water? Did I hydrate myself enough? Did I have enough exercise? Was I able to sleep well? All these things are part of your mental hygiene. Then physical activity, that's equivalent to your antidepressant. You don't have to take any antidepressants if you have been physically active, which is significantly deteriorating nowadays. So physical activity is also your mood enhancer, your focus enhancer. You are able to induce a lot of endorphins, induce a lot of serotonins that will help you in focusing better. Then relationships as buffers against burnout. I hear a lot of PGs and residents undergoing breakups during this phase, but sometimes they also come across with new relationship. So use relationship as your anchor and also as a buffer where you can spend some quality time with your near and dear ones, and you can enjoy yourself while being part of your residency curriculum. Now, what are certain red flags? When to suspect some clinical concern? Firstly, persistent insomnia. And when I talk about persistent, it means at least it should be there for one particular week. Continuously for 1 week, if you're not able to sleep well, you have to take some help here, whether it is related to just a counseling session, whether it is just related to some relaxation exercise. Something needs to be done here. Second, chronic irritability. A person who's very happy, cheerful, suddenly he or she has becoming very snappy, always snapping out on something or the other. Third, emotionally withdrawal, not able to connect to people. Though people are smiling, they are interacting, you tend to draw out. Then, loss of interest.
Dr. Ankita,
Yeah.
10 minutes are up. So
I just need 2-3 minutes more to summarize, ma'am. Yeah.
Okay, thank
So
you.
then loss of interest could be one thing where you are not interested in any pleasurable activities, you are trying to withdraw yourself. Then thoughts of quitting, literally quitting any medicines or which you are already on, and then substance reliance. That could be nicotine, that could be alcohol as a stimulant which you are being dependent on, not using something as your novelty seeking behavior, but something that you are dependent on. And most importantly, early help prevents any form of escalation. Now, why it's important? Help seeking without stigma, because mental health is equivalent to your occupational health. Unless and until you are mentally active, it will become very difficult. Also, confidential counseling is available because most of the time people fear that what if it goes out, then what will happen? People will have a lot of negative impression about me. What if my professor hears about it? They will have negative impression about me. Let's normalize supervision and psychological support. That's the dictum. Strong doctors ask for help early. Then there are certain evidence-based strategies. People start fearing the medications being the first line of treatment. That's not the case. Firstly, there are a lot of intervention role in the form of CBT that mainly focuses on performance anxiety, perfectionism, mindfulness techniques which focus mainly upon the stress regulation, certain peer support groups that basically help you in emotional buffering. Few things can be, just helped out by talking out to your friends. And of course, coaching is also important, surgical confidence building approach, and last is medication. So certain tips for those that duty hours have to be very particularly
Dr. Ankita,
managed.
we've already overshot. 8:30 we were to end the webinar. So
sorry, I was told that I have to join at 8:20, but I joined at
you're fine.
8:30.
It's not your fault at all.
Yeah.
We were
Okay.
discussing. So I was just
I'm
saying
just
10
finishing
minutes.
it off. Just one slide.
Thank you.
Thank you. There are certain duty hours realism. Then mentorship is also important in surgery. Complication, as I said, that debrief the protocols, and certain wellness infrastructure like include counseling, peer circles, and everything that needs to be also inculcated in the routine part. Then, what are the take-home messages here? Firstly, resilience is a skill. It's not a personality trait. That's most important. People take it as a personality trait. Secondly, small daily habits, they lead to big emotional strength here. I have not talked about anything which is out of the ordinary, which you can't practice in your day-to-day life. And third, better mental health equals to better surgeons. And you matter beyond your surgical outcomes. Right? So, we here at Thriving Minds, we have this exclusive discount offer for YOSI. Basically, we are a team of, I'm the psychiatrist, I'm the lead clinical here, and we have 5 therapists here who work online as well as offline. You can take the snapshot of this and you can always avail our services. And these are our contact details, or you can directly drop a message to Dr. Nilesh. He will help you out with this further.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Preeti ma'am, please initiate the discussion.
That was a much needed lecture and it was put forward very beautifully by Dr. Ankita. So now the last question I'm going to put to Dr. Archana Vare and Dr. Naina Poddar because they're teachers. That when a person just cannot cope, should they take a break from a physical break, maybe 6 months, 1 year? So, do you advise? And second is, what are the laws? Does our law allow us to give residents a break?
So, firstly, I need to understand first here, in your case, we need to understand what is the.
No, what happens is Dr. Archana, she's the resident, she's the professor and head. Both Naina Poddar and Dr. Archana Vare, they are professors and heads of the respective colleges. So they have to deal with all this, the law and other things very routinely. I may want to take a break, but I don't know what the law allows me. So that's why I was
So
asking.
the resident has to complete 36 months of residency. And if they take, it's always good to take a break if they need it. And fortunately, I have never come across this situation. But in other departments, residents, they do take a break, maybe because of pregnancy or, childbirth, or because of various reasons, or sometimes because of the mental breakdown. The residents do take a break. But when they appear for their exams, they have to complete 36 months of their residency. So if they have taken a break, then their residency is extended. And once they complete 36 months, then they can appear for the exams. But I feel if they need, they should take a break.
So, Dr. Naina, what is the maximum break that they can take? Say, suppose I do 1 year of residency, then can I take a break of 1 year?
Yeah,
Or
you can take a break of 1 year.
Yes, it is not, see, our university, the MUHS is very soft on this. As Dr. Archana said, 36 months are mandatory. But even out of those 36 months, they say that 80% attendance is required so that they can, apply for exam. Right? Yeah, that is it. And there is nothing, once they take admission, the validity is only 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years. There's nothing like that. There is no age capping, there's no age limit. So I feel if a student is distressed or there are other reasons, they can go ahead, take a break, come back rejuvenated and start afresh.
Yeah, so
there's no
good.
fixed law.
That's really good to know that it gives us a flexibility. So, Dr. Ankita, I would want to know that when do you sense that okay, nothing is working, this person needs a break? Which are those flags? Red flags.
As I just mentioned in the slide also, there are certain red flags, which includes firstly, most importantly, the lack of productivity. You are able to see it straight through the children, straight through the students, that how productive they were earlier. And you feel that their productivity is significantly declining. Secondly, you feel that yes, they are having a lot of emotional outbursts. The person was very happy, going along, doing everything, but suddenly that person is, withdrawing. Significantly, you see that not able to being there, concentrating in your class, and most importantly, which I have not mentioned here, specifically exhibiting certain suicidal thoughts. People don't talk about them. Okay. Usually it's their near and dear ones, the close friends, close knit friends, they will know that he is not talking normally. He or she has started expressing these thoughts very, vividly, very significantly. That is the time, that is a very crucial time, and probably that is the time where invariably that person requires support, whether it could be medical support, whether it could be the counseling support. First start with certain counseling techniques, because they feel that it is normal. Even if I'm expressing myself out, I am in a very safe space where things will not go out from this chamber. And my professors are there to help me out, they are not there to point me out. So these few techniques, few tips that I would like to give here for those specifically where you're feeling stuck, please open up. As I said, you have to open up. Then only they will also know where to help you out.
So those are great tips. And Dr. Nilesh, can we end this session?
Yeah, I think this is a very pertinent topic, and probably Thriving Minds can be with us throughout the webinar series over this year, which we are going to collaborate on. And we'll keep adding on different pointers, because it is not a one-time thing. It is a wide gamut of help and the red flags and how to identify those red flags in yourself. It requires a lot of talk and open discussion on that. So probably we can keep having that. And I really I thank MOS for this opportunity to UC, because I think this has been a very fruitful discussion throughout the talks, ma'am. Ma'am, your comments and
So my comments are, it's a beautiful topic, well curated. So I thank you. See, it's nice to be among young, fresh minds, and it gives a freshness all over. So one thing is I would take is that post graduation is a very beautiful phase in your life. So enjoy it thoroughly, and don't sweat over the little things. Things fall in place. So he got 3 more surgeries. I got only 1 today. When you look back 20 years, you laugh at yourself. That it was a time that you could have enjoyed. And it's a time where you can make mistakes with very minimal repercussions. Your HODs are there to protect you. So make the most of it. And it's a youth which is never going to come back. So have a great time doing your residency. All right. So I thank the YOSI for this wonderful session. And we will meet again as we're going to have a continuous series of these webinars. Yeah. So good night to everyone. All right. So
thank you so
We'll
much.
take a group we'll take a group photo.
Sure.
Yeah.
All of us, please.
Yes.
With the YOSI sign, ma'am. This is the
Is
YOSI
that
sign.
okay? So
Yeah,
please
this is the
start
YOSI.
your cameras, please. Who's taking the photographs?
Nupur ma'am will take.
I'll
Nupur ma'am, you want to
And
take or I'll
Nupur,
take?
she has one hand
Nilesh,
like this.
Nilesh,
I'll
you
take.
take. Yes.
Okay. Okay. Just 1 second. Done.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So good night,
Thank you.
everyone.
Thank you,
Have a
sir. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
night.
Thank you,
Bye-bye.
Very
everyone. Bye bye.
nice.
Good night.
Very
Good
nice.
night. Good
Thank
night.
you.
Good night.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Good night. Bye.
Bye.